Your patience. I know traffic was a little bit of a struggle this evening. So it is 5:35 p.m. I'd like to call our work session to order. Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the roll?
Ms. Daniels, Ms. Davis,
Present.
Ms. Green,
Present.
Mr. Jones,
Here.
Ms. Rawls,
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Ms. Hill.
Present. Thank you. We have a lengthy agenda this evening, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to be mindful of everyone's time. The administration committee listed there's a bill and 2 resolutions. I would like to note that we will be going over the 2 resolutions, Resolution 82 of 2025 and Resolution 83 of 2025. They will both remain in committee at this time. So we have Bill 11 of 2025. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Bill 11, 2025, an ordinance forgiving and discharging certain city real estate taxes, including interest, penalties, and cost, and striking off tax liens for certain historically tax-exempt properties.
Thank you. Ms. Cameron.
Yes, we're back again with another one of these. We had discussed in previous sessions that at a certain point, Dauphin County had made some of these organizations that have historically been exempt recertify. A bunch of them missed the deadline, and so they were assessed certain taxes. Since that time, they have appeared before the Board of Assessment Appeals and had their exemptions reinstated. And so as such, we are, along with the school board and Dauphin County, the other taxing bodies, striking off or forgiving any taxes that were assessed, including any liens or other penalties, while they were without their exemption.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any questions. I think I'm pretty familiar of our rotation with these, so thank you for the updates, I'll say. I don't have any questions. I'll open the floor to my colleagues who may have some. I'll begin with our Budget and Finance Committee Chair, Vice President Green. Do you have any questions on Bill 11 of 2025?
I don't have any questions on what the bill is doing, but I don't see an address for the property.
For which there are actually, as the exhibit, you should see the minutes for the actual meeting that was held. And then there are the organizations on page, what is this, 2.
I don't see any exhibits at all, so I have no addresses. It's just very general.
Well, the addresses are not an exhibit. They are within the actual bill. So page 2 of your bill should have addresses under properties, section 1, exoneration of real estate taxes.
I don't see it. We don't have any of that. It literally just tells us that we're going to strike real estate taxes, goes through severability, repealer, effective date. We're missing a lot.
Must be no, you're only missing one
Just
page.
one page?
But,
Yes, the page and the exhibits.
well, I will, for the record, just tell you,
Okay.
the addresses involved are 1201 North 13th Street, 1824 North 4th Street, twice, there's 2 parcels there, and 1114A North 2nd Street. The organizations involved are, hold on, I'm sorry. King Apostle Holiness Church, that address is 1201 North 13th Street. Harrisburg Senior Citizens has the 2 parcels with the address of 1824 North 4th Street. And Pennsylvania American Legion Housing for Homeless at the address of 1114A North 2nd Street.
Thank you very much. That's the only question I had, and then if we could just get a copy of it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you. Councilwoman Davis, do you have any questions on Bill 11?
Thank you, President Hill. I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rawls, any questions on Bill 11?
Thank you, President Hill. Good evening, everybody. I don't have any questions on Bill 11.
Okay, thank you. And Councilman Rodriguez, any questions on Bill 11?
Thank you, Madam President. No questions from me.
Thank you. Councilman Jones, any questions on Bill 11?
No questions.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, we will get the corrected,
Yes, sorry about that.
the full bill on E-codes along with the exhibit for review. So if there's no further discussion, I move to add Bill 11 of 2025 to our next legislative session agenda for a formal vote. This concludes the work of the Administration Committee. Next, we have the work of the Budget and Finance Committee. I will defer to our Budget and Finance Committee Chair, Vice President Green, to lead discussion.
Thank you, President Hill. Budget and Finance Committee will be discussing Resolution 84 of 2025, a resolution approving the 7th proposed 2025 budget reallocation, appropriation, and allocation of certain funds. And who do we have from the administration to review over this? Good evening, Mr. McCutcheon.
And Madam Chair, there's three different things in here. Two of them are exhibits, and one is in the prose at the beginning of the document. And I will handle the initial one that deals with the $2 million confirmation of neighborhood services funds. The council had previously budgeted for revenues and expenditures for neighborhood services fund. One of the sources of revenues in the budget is the $2 million allotment that was going to trash forgiveness. Essentially, the money was coming out of the state grant fund and rolling over to neighborhood services to supplement its yearly issues. We then also had the payout for the resolution of the Public Works building this year. So the funds there are depleted in there. There had been an issue in that transfer happening, and just so the council had previously voted for the $2 million, this is basically a way to put it back in front of the council and back in front of the treasurer's office that the council had voted for the $2 million to go to neighborhood services fund. It's not even a reallocation, it's simply a confirmation that the money was going over there. And we listed, and they basically stopped when they got to $2 million in a list of items that covers $2 million of major purchases. And obviously there's many, many more than that in the Public Works Department. So that is just simply an effort to put it out there in front so that to provide something for that transfer to happen. Those signatures were declined in the fall by the treasurer's office. So,
Thank you for that. Anybody have any questions regarding that? Seeing none, thank you very much. Mr. McCutcheon, we are ready when you are.
All right. Yes, good evening, President Hill, City Council members, Brian McCutcheon, Accounting Manager, and the Department of Financial Management, Bureau of Financial Management. Thank you, Vice President Green, for the opportunity to review. What is up on the screen is the 7th proposed 2025 budget adjustment reallocation schedule. And the first part of this reallocation relates to, it's all personnel cost related, and it involves the city's two major significant funds, the general fund and neighborhood services. I'll start with the general fund, which is the top half piece. This all revolves around the occurrence this year, which is a unique occurrence of a 27th payroll that's happening. This actually occurred in the past approximately 10 years ago when there were 27 pays in a year of that time. And what's driving the 27th pay in December our pay dates and check run dates are December the 4th, the 18th, and going by the calendar, it would be January 1st. So typically, historically, in several recent years, when a holiday falls on a pay date, it is moved back to the previous day, the previous business day. In this case, it would be December 31st. So in that, we realized this earlier in the year, and we discussed it with members of the finance team, and also the payroll department and HR. And the business decision was made to have the 27th pay occur in this current budget year, 2025. And HR and the payroll department and also our ID department has teed up a 27th pay slot, if you will, for this year. So given that, with the budget that's in effect for the current year, the review or the analysis was done to make sure there would be enough budget to accommodate this extra pay. And we went through those particular departments or offices that have available budget as a surplus for 2025. The ones that are in need of budget are the top half, starting with the city treasurer's office and going on down to Parks, Rec, and Enrichment. That's that grouping that need the budget amendment ask of $1,298,700. That's the total of those. So those are the ones that need the plus up in budget. The ones that are available due to whatever the reasons may be for a budget surplus, typically vacancies or departures or retirements during the year, creating a surplus budget. So in reviewing this, we took a look at the beginning of November to project, which is a little bit easier to do this time of the year, of course, to project the 5 remaining pays, 2 in November, the 2 in December, and of course the final one on December 31, number 27. And the analysis yielded that there is some budget surplus in the line, starting with the Office of the Mayor and thank you, Jared, going on down through the Bureau of Police. And the totals there, you can see the removal of that budget equates to the $1,298,700 that's mentioned above for the ones that are in need. So that's the general fund piece. The second half lower part of this schedule, again, neighborhood services is in a similar situation. This lower half includes those budget units or lines that need to plus up in budget. The main salaries and wages account is there for the city services piece, which is the public works piece. And it also relates to the 3 boroughs that the city services for trash utility services, Steelton, Pembroke, and Paxtang. So the budget amendment ask is that total of $197,100. Again, I'm looking in column G. And then, Jared, if you scroll down, please, the funding, how that is met is to remove budget, the surplus that's available in the parks maintenance line for the neighborhood services fund. And then the rest of it is to be accommodated or captured by the general fund to marry up, so to speak. The budget removal from lines equates to the $197,100, matching the increase and decrease. I'll stop there if you have any comments or questions.
Thank you. I don't have any questions or comments. It seems pretty clear-cut the way you married it together. I'll start to my far left to see if there are any comments or questions regarding this portion. Councilman Jones?
Yes, thank you, Vice President Green. Mr. Truesdale, can you scroll down? And hold on. Okay, yeah. I'm looking at the lost time for the police column. I think what was approved was the 400,000. They spent 600.
Yes, and can I go or do you?
Go ahead.
Okay, all right.
You see where I'm going already, right?
Yeah, sure. No, I know. Yeah. So lost time in medical, by the way, that relates to the city's payment of workers' compensation claims. It's handled by an outside third-party administrator. But the reason this is so high as of the beginning of November, the 600,000, this captures a recent workers' comp settlement claim of an injured police officer from several years ago. which was,
It's now getting paid out. Is that what you're saying?
well, it has a past history of payments. It's been an ongoing claim, but this, I believe the amount that was just settled and dispersed is the final relative to workers' comp, but it was significant. It was approximately $250,000. So that's out of the norm of claims that occur during the year that you would see in this particular line. So that's what's driving this particular budget increase. So the reason, and again, at the beginning of my discussion, I talked about this is personnel and salaries and wages and so on and payroll tax expense, but this particular account is a personnel account. And while we were doing this, I reviewed other personnel lines that would be in need, and this one, of course, stood out. So that's why this is appearing on this schedule.
Okay, and then I will go down to fire overtime.
Yes. Again, another significant occurring outlay, and I know, not stepping up or speaking for the chief, but there were during the year various deployments where his personnel, his crew needed to go out and locate to where the matter was or the need was. So there again, this is another one that stood out in our analysis that the overtime line is heavy, and I do believe the chief has in the works a submission of this where there's an urban search and rescue type reimbursement the city receives from time to time. That hasn't happened yet, but it's something that relates. But again, that to me is what's driving the overtime. I mean, the numbers just stood out, so I thought it would be good to bring this into the loop.
Page.
Yes.
For now, that's all I had. That's all. Go ahead.
And Councilman Jones, just on the workers' comp, the way that actually works is that we have stop-loss coverage that changes every year depending on the year of the injury, so the amounts change. But when we hit a certain threshold, we then get reimbursed under that coverage.
Yeah.
And so this is a case that's going on for a long time for someone very severely injured in the line of duty. And this is the last and final one, and there should be a stop-loss payment that comes on the other side of it.
And again, it's just, for my own edification and also for the public, when they look at these numbers, just give a little explanation.
Sure. Oh, I think it's a good explanation, but I just we don't often talk about stop loss here. That's why we have the insurance. So if we go over a certain threshold, part of it comes back to the taxpayers.
Yep. Thank you. No further questions, Vice President Green.
Thank you very much. Councilman Rodriguez, any questions?
No, Madam Chair, my
Thank-
by Councilman Jones, but thank you all.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Rawls.
Good evening. Thank you. I don't really have any questions. I did notice Parks and Rec came under for their temporary line, which was an issue last year. So we'll see how that goes with budget season, because now it's like
Yes.
you're not sure what to
And-
budget for, because they came in
Right.
significantly under
Well,
what it was a year ago, where they didn't have enough money to pay, and now so.
Not to gloat on this, but that was a
Yeah.
very helpful remedy for the overall here. But I did make sure to confirm with Director Ross that we were good. There was no
Okay.
subsequent need for that particular line.
Okay, good.
Based on that total.
Yeah, I think they did good this year. I'm glad to see that. So now it's almost like you're not sure what to budget for with that. But no, I'm glad it went well. That's it. We did a good job. Thank you. That's it for me. I just wanted to gloat on that a little bit from us, because we didn't know what to budget for at first. So thank you. Okay.
Thank you. President Hill, any questions?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Davis, any questions?
No questions for me. Thank you, Mr. McCutcheon, for explaining the charts.
Oh, yes, you're welcome.
Thank you. I believe we are ready for the next portion then.
Excuse me, Vice President Green, Councilwoman Daniels is present via Zoom.
Councilwoman Daniels, excuse me. Do you have any questions or comments for this portion?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Now I believe we're ready.
Okay. All right. If Jared will assist me moving to the next exhibit, Exhibit B. And this particular schedule, again, it's similar format. This is all general fund. There's 2 items to discuss here, the 2 footnotes. Footnote A in blue relates to the legal line in the city solicitor's office. And this is to clean up a technical error, technical system error that we'd like to correct that should have been addressed at the beginning of the year when the city typically does its roll forward of commitments from the prior year. Also known as encumbrances, which includes purchase orders and contract encumbrances. For the roll forward at the beginning of this year, there were about 16 or 17 contract encumbrance or commitments for various legal firms that provide outside legal services to the city. These particular encumbrances were, again, they were from prior years, mostly prior year 24. There were a few from prior year 23. Based on the communication that we get from every department at this time, the move was to roll them forward. When we do that, we need to also roll the budget forward to accommodate them in the new year. At the time, though, what we wanted to do was to manually adjust that budget roll forward because we didn't want it to appear ahead of City Council's review and approval, via the vote on that particular reallocation. When we presented the reallocation, though, to you, it was prepared in error. It did not include. It was inaccurate because it did not include all of the 16 or 17 encumbrances that were really in play. So, again, the budget was rolled forward, but then we adjusted it back. But the encumbrances came forward, and when the system does that, it recognizes budget has been rolled forward. As it turns out, the majority of these encumbrances ended up not being needed or utilized, so they were closed. When they were closed, the system automatically pulled the budget back away because it's thinking, oh, you don't need this budget.
When you say system, you talking about Munis?
Munis, correct,
Okay.
right, which is proper for that system to do because it's a safeguard. That way you don't have excess budget lingering on something that's been closed out. But our manual entry was the culprit there because we didn't, again, there wasn't enough budget left in to offset what was going to be affected by the system. So a long story short, what is needed on these encumbrances relates to what was paid during the year, which was approximately $6,250. And also there was one encumbrance that has been left open that is needed, which is $3,000. So the Law Bureau's budget, the revised budget, really needs to reflect approximately $279,000 in the revised column. And then when you take away what was spent and what's still committed out there, should leave an available balance of a little over $50,000. So again, and Jared, if you just scroll back up, please, to that, this budget adjustment remedies that. It gets the Law Bureau's legal line to where it should be had this error not occurred. And the revised budget will properly reflect what it should be because the original appropriation for 2025 was $270,000. So that's legal in that line. The next footnote B in yellow, relates to quite simply medical. I think we've been doing fairly well this year in comparison to last year, but again, we tend to average. It fluctuates, but we tend to average every month about 1 to 1.2 million in claims that the city pays for its main medical providers for healthcare, prescription, and dental. So to address this now, while we were looking over these particular accounts, we wanted to increase the budget for a reasonable's position. Right now, you can see the available budget balance at the beginning of November is right around 1.2 million. And if that's, it's there saying, okay, we have 2 months to go, and I'm telling you that we tend to be That's about 1 month's worth potential. So it's given us the sense that we're a bit short. We don't want to run into a tight squeeze here where we don't have enough appropriation to accommodate when we get into December. Actually, so far in November, it's calmed down. Right now, we're about at $600,000 through this week with only 1 week to go. But you just never know with these claims when they might surface and at what level. So we're trying to be proactive. I believe this proposed budget adjustment will offer a bit more than is needed cushion-wise, but I'd rather take that approach, given that we have, again, similar budget surpluses in certain lines. And if you look down through, I'm not going to go through every single line unless you have questions, of course. I went through and checked with our directors, if they were comfortable with those particular moves. You look right away, the information, the IT lines, I spoke with the director, and he was quite comfortable with giving up that budget in his budget unit to have it sent over to the medical line. And on and on, through our Office of Tax Enforcement, our particular Bureau of Financial Management, we did a review. Again, Bureau of Police, I reached out to the assistant to the commissioner on that. Traffic and Engineering, VMC, Vehicle Management. And the rest is populated by, again, some salaries and wages lines that do have that surplus based on available vacancies that created the surplus as to where we are right now. So that's the proposed solution to hope, or to try to shore up what may be coming in medical, even though I'm more optimistic that it won't quite be as heavy as that. That's all I have on that.
Thank you very much. I don't have any questions regarding this. I'm going to start to my far right this time with Councilwoman Daniels. Any questions?
No questions for me, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Davis, any questions?
No questions.
Thank you. President Hill, any questions?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rawls, any questions?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Rodriguez, any questions?
No questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, Councilman Jones, any questions?
You know I do. So again, I'm going to look at, and just for clarity, on maintenance and service contract. I see the 25,000. There was a deduction of 25,000, and then it ends up with zero. That line, and traffic and engineering streetlights, same thing. 25,000 deducted, ended up with 75. I'm just wondering what happened.
Right. Going in reverse order, I talked to the one representative from traffic and engineering. She's very close to the streetlight needs when it comes to the monitoring on the services side, or the actual supplies that the city purchases. And based on that, what is currently available and what I suggested we utilize, she was comfortable with that. Again, the idea was to take and not be too greedy, if you will. I mean, if there is some savings there, but not to deplete it, to leave as much of a significant amount of budget intact, for the remaining 2 months for those particular lines. But she felt comfortable that for those particular lines in traffic and engineering, that it wouldn't be too much of an ask to reduce those lines by those amounts.
So again, for clarity, I'm just trying to figure out if there's a deduction, where did it go? And how do we get back to zero on the first service contracts, I believe? Maintenance and service contract, yes.
Right, and if all these particular lines, all these deducts, what we're looking at right now, again, you can see the total at the bottom, right, is the $1,272,000. They're all flowing up to the medical line in general expenses, to increase that medical lines budget for.
That's where it
That's
went.
where they're going.
Okay,
Yes,
that's all.
yes. All right.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, certainly.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'm going to ask that this be moved to our next legislative agenda. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you both. Appreciate the time.
And that is the business of the Budget and Finance Committee. Thank you, President Hill.
Thank you, Vice President Green. Next, we have the business of the Community and Economic Development Committee. I will defer to our Community and Economic Development Committee Chair, Councilwoman Daniels. I don't know what I was thinking. Sorry, Councilwoman Daniels. Deferring to you to lead discussion.
That's okay. Today's, the first item on the Community and Economic Development Committee's agenda is Resolution 75-2025. Mr. Truesdale, if you don't mind reading that into the record, please.
Resolution 75, 2025, a resolution approving the preliminary/final land development plan for 1605 to 1613 Market Street, submitted by Chris Franklin of Handel's Helping Hand Foundation to consolidate and re-subdivide the various lots comprising the project site into 4 separate parcels on which attached row homes will be constructed and associated site and access improvements.
Thank you. Could the person representing the city introduce themselves and give a brief description of the history and the procedural posture of this bill, and try to be both thorough and succinct, please?
Certainly. Jeffrey Knight, Planning Director for the city. As Mr. Truesdale noted, this proposal involves the consolidation of 5 separate, largely vacant parcels, with them being re-subdivided into 4 new parcels, and then on which 4 attached row homes will be constructed. Council may recall this from earlier this year in April, when a different version of the project was brought through the process and was approved by council for a 9-unit multifamily dwelling. In the intervening time, the applicants have reconsidered the proposal and are now going with 4 attached row homes. They'll be able to give you some more specifics, but I believe that they're for they're affordable units for first-time homeowners. So that'll be a bit of a difference between the last project and this one as well. But overall, these lots are on the 1600 block of Market Street, and if you're familiar with them, there was a small, I think, community garden at one point operating on site, but in the last few years, it doesn't seem to have had any attention or ongoing maintenance of the properties. So this is going to be just an infill with essentially a development style and building that is similar to that of the surrounding neighborhood. The applicants did receive the requisite zoning relief requests at the October 20th zoning hearing board meeting, and that also included relief from the 4 off-street parking requirements that were for our off-street parking spaces that were required for a project of this size, although the applicants do have a draft parking lease agreement with a church on the 1500 block of Market Street to utilize their parking if necessary. So with all of that being said, the Planning Commission recommended that the City Council approve the request with the following conditions. The applicant is required to receive a certificate of qualification pursuant to Chapter 12-101 of Title 12, the Affordable Housing Certification, prior to recording the lot consolidation and land development plan with the Dauphin County Recorder of Deeds. If possible, the applicant should consider building designs with a 0-step entrance threshold or other accommodation to ensure visibility of the structures, allowing ADA access for residents and visitors. The applicant should consider different divisions along the front porch other than the proposed fence panels, such as railings similar to those along the front portions of the porches, which will contrast with the architecture of the front facades. And then finally, the applicant should consider fencing in all or portions of the rear yards, or consider installing fences and gates along the sides of the end units to give residents more privacy and security. The Planning Commission recommends the City Council approve the request for the following reasons. The project is in conformance with the city's comprehensive plan and has been designed to minimize the amount of zoning relief necessary. Approval of the proposal will enhance the character of the neighborhood and improve the streetscape by developing prominent and long-standing vacant lots, installing street trees, constructing compatible infill development, and adding to the neighborhood's housing inventory. Three, the proposed project will contribute to the city's need for affordable housing by providing 4 new affordable housing units in 4-bedroom configurations, which will be certified and maintained long-term as affordable units. The proposed configurations represent a size of unit that is in higher demand throughout the city. And finally, the project will enhance one of the primary corridors in the Allison Hill neighborhood, adding new residents to the neighborhood, activating the street and community on nights and weekends, and growing the customer base to support local businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to clarify, so each one of the 4 separate parcels will have row home on each of the 4. Like there are several row homes on each one of the 4 parcels.
That is correct. This will essentially be 4 different parcels with a single family dwelling on each.
Okay, thank you. So if the applicant wouldn't mind introducing himself, describing the nature of the project, please include the timeframes for completion, costs, and again, if similar to the representative for the city, if you could be thorough and succinct, that would be very greatly appreciated.
Okay, yeah, my name's Sean O'Toole. I'm with On Hill Development, and I'm consultant to the project.
My name is Chris Franklin. I am actually a developer of the project and the president of Handles Helping Hands.
Zane Geist, project manager with Integrated Consulting, the civil design engineer who prepared the plans in front of you this evening.
Yeah, so if someone could just give a brief description of the project, including deadlines and timeframes.
Go ahead, you can talk about time frames and I'll talk about the project.
I will go first to just, again, go over some of the specifics of the project. Jeffrey did a pretty good explanation introducing it. At this point, I understand that there have been several grant applications applied for, correct? And I think the target would be probably, would you say spring of 2026? Total cost, I believe, was estimated just over $1 million for $1.5 million. Okay. And as Jeffrey mentioned previously, this was a multifamily initial submission. The course was changed when for various reasons, but we do feel that these 4 units providing proper home ownership, and I think the neighborhood, the character of the neighborhood is better matched with what's proposed as part of this. Less zoning relief associated with this. In fact, we're bringing these lots. There's 5 lots there currently. We're reconsolidating them into 4 lots to try to bring them closer with the conformance of the current zoning requirements. So we only just have the zoning relief for the middle 2 units. They're each 16 feet wide units, but the end lots are wider than the 20-foot required. So that was like the minimum zoning relief that we thought would be necessary besides the off-street parking associated with the project. At this time, we have gone through rounds of comments from the city and Capital Region Water. We've actually resubmitted to Capital Region to try and get those comments clarified or addressed. And I think the only other comment we saw from the packet was from the city engineer regarding the pavement restoration out front. So we understand that we'll have to restore a little bit more of the pavement than what we had shown on the initial plan in the exhibits in front of you. And we also added in the site plan I have here tonight, the only main difference is we added some fencing in between the units in the rear yards and to address the comment from city planning regarding the privacy screening in between the units. Chris, do you want to speak on the project?
Yes. First, thank you for having me here and having us here. Honored to be here this evening. I think it's a project we've been working on for 2 years, and I am a firm believer of the community being a part of the solution. And instead of complaining about issues or problems that affect our community, be a part of the solution. And for me, is one of the solutions or one of the issues that not only plague our city, but plague our country is the issue of affordable housing. There just isn't enough supply to meet the demand. Not only are there not enough units for people that live in these cities, but also with rising costs, it's even harder for people not only to rent, but even more importantly to own. So that's why I think this project is important. One, I am a firm believer of the location. The revitalization of a key corridor or a major artery in our city, that being Market Street. I believe in investing back into the communities that you come from. I live blocks away from where this project is. So I believe in its location. It's a lot that has been 20-plus years vacant, and turning that 20-plus year vacant lot into affordable homes, I think is a powerful statement to the city. I think investment back into an area of the city that's been disinvested upon and not built upon in years is also important for people to see, and it may attract other businesses and other people to develop in that community. But most importantly, I think from my perspective, is the premise of economic empowerment and equity. When I say that, we are not looking to build units for rent, but for ownership. We're looking to put people, first-time home buyers, investing into the city and giving them an opportunity where they wouldn't have one previously. Statistics show that the best way to close the racial wealth gap is home ownership. So that's number one. Number two is utilizing people within the community to build the project and to not only build the project, but be a part of the project. Not only does that give the indigenous people of that community ownership of the project, but also circulates the dollars invested in this project back into the communities that they're built in. Otherwise, strengthening the community. So I think it's not just about community or development, but about community upliftment. And lastly, giving people the opportunity that work in the city and that live in the city an opportunity to own a piece of the city. I think because of these reasons, I think this is a powerful project. It's one that shows or demonstrates collaboration with us, not only working with the city, but also the county with PHFA and with MidPenn and M&T banks, all to come together on one project to get it done and to provide home ownership and generational wealth for people within the city.
Okay, thank you. So I'll go ahead and just open up the questions from my colleagues. I will start to my immediate left, Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, Councilwoman Daniels, and thank you, gentlemen, for being here this evening. I like what I'm hearing. I live in that neighborhood, and it would be a breath of fresh air to see it develop and come up. I like the home ownership aspect of it, so I'd say let's do more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Daniels.
Thank you, Vice President Green.
Thank you, Councilman Daniels, and thank you, gentlemen, for being here tonight. I don't really have any questions for you. I look forward to this project. I think it's an important project, not only for the area, but for the city in general, to maybe be a map for others to do the same thing. We often see a lot of projects come in that create multifamily dwellings for people to rent, kind of focus more on the profit than actually building the community itself and giving people the opportunity to own within the city of Harrisburg. So I thank you. What you're saying sounds good. I know some of your history and the things you do for the community, so it's believable. And I appreciate all that you do and what you're continuing to do, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. President Hill.
Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'll say that I have admired your community work for a long time. So to know that this is not a short-term project for you, that you've been working on it for 2 years, is very commendable. So thank you for your time and attention to this project. Affordable housing is a passion of mine since I've sat on this seat in council. So I'm happy to know that this will be something that is affordable for our families and residents. Your target is first-time home buyers, which is exciting. I'm hopeful that mainly families will be interested in this opportunity. I wanted to discuss funding. So you were one of 13 awardees of city funding for affordable housing. I just wanted to note that for the meeting record. Is there any other outside funding that will be utilized for this project?
Yes, and that's what I was talking about with the collaboration. Also, there's PHFA. There is the county commissioners and the gaming dollars that were secured, and also M&T Bank and Mid-Penn Bank community funds. And I think, you know, a lot of the original costs are already taken care of. And I think that's what makes this project a unique one and one that's exciting because we're ready to build. We go right to building, and this is something that we'll go to in the spring. They'll be done, and we'll have people in those homes. So we do have funds secure. We've been working on this for a long time, working very hard on it.
Thank you. My other question was around, could you or someone speak to the change in the design, I guess, from the 9-unit multifamily dwelling to the 4 row homes?
Well, I think there are a couple reasons. First is the issue of parking. That's number one.
Okay.
You know, 9 units and 4 units are different. And originally, the project was supposed to be almost like people move into these homes and prepare themselves for home ownership. Mm-hmm. So they go into the home and they stay for, I'm sorry, the apartment,
Okay.
and move into the apartments and prepare themselves for home ownership. For me, the goal is always home ownership and owning a stake in your own community. So that's where we started.
Okay.
Going straight to home ownership is now the goal. And also, you know, it cut the price in half, right? So when you're trying to build with rising costs and you're looking at completion of projects, you know, so many projects that start off and they never get completed. For me, it's about completion. It made a lot of sense to bring the project a little lower and put people in those homes. Same goal, with just a smaller directive from 9 to 4.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rawls?
Thank you. I have one question, but first I just want to say thank you for bringing this project, not just to the city, but to the Hill, in the Allison Hill area, because I feel like they're always left out. A lot of projects go more towards uptown or in the Midtown area, but the Hill really does need to be revitalized. It is an artery coming in, and right now it's not at its best, right? It needs a facelift. So I appreciate you bringing the project into that area, and not only that, but making it housing. Houses that we can have home ownership and promote more of that in the city, as you said earlier. I don't know if it's changed, but I think right now home ownership is maybe about 20% in the city, which causes a lot of issues going, you know, people don't have that stake of saying, this is mine, let me take care of it. So more home ownership promotes that. It promotes more community, more neighborhoods. So we need more of that. And also it's affordable. So that's a big place. Like, yes, we do need things that are at market value, but we also need affordable to get people in there who need affordable housing. So thank you for not only making it affordable, but making it housing that is promoting home ownership, and for all you do for the community, because you do so much. So thank you. You're welcome. I just have one question. I noticed that the question wasn't answered about participating in MBE, WBE, and DBE participation. So I was just wondering if you all had any answers on how you would be participating and using any of those companies when building the housing.
I just want to iterate that for whatever reason, the application, when it was submitted, we did have information on that filled out. So maybe it was the PDF or something that got lost in translation. But basically, the application was supposed to say All phases of the project, including construction, real estate management, will involve MBE participation. But if Chris or Sean want to add on to that, they're more than welcome to.
That's correct. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make that a note because I'm sure there will be that participation, but it wasn't there, so I wanted to make sure you were able to answer that. So thank you. And I look forward to this project and to seeing it go from start to finish. So thank you again. That's all from me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, gentlemen, for being here this evening. Handel's very familiar with your work, so thank you for all you do and, bringing this great team towards us tonight to speak about the project. I just had a few brief questions. First off, you had mentioned the gaming grant, municipal shares was awarded. What year was that?
Yeah, it was the most recent grant.
So last year's?
Yes.
Okay, awesome, thank you. And then, as far as the amenities for the home, will they be like a modern, up-to-date amenities, or what do you, and just your vision for it, what kind of amenities would you have in these homes for the families?
Well, yes, not only modern. I think a lot of times what happens when it comes to housing is that when we build these homes, we put these cheap materials in a matter of years, the materials built cheaply get run down, and it looks like the tenant is running down the community when in all actuality, we're not building with the right materials so that they'll last a lifetime. Hopefully, we plan on putting state-of-the-art amenities and also building with the right materials so that it's something that'll last.
Awesome, thank you. And then, as far as security, any kind of advanced or, just what's your thoughts on security, better lighting, cameras, all of the above?
Well, I mean, I think that's part of what interests me in home ownership, right? We know that when people own their own homes, they take care of the community better. We know that safety is a lot better when people own as opposed to coming in and out, and as opposed to having absentee landlords. And so that's part of my goal with getting more or helping to get more home ownership within the city, like the Honorable Jocelyn Ross talked about. There's 20% of ownership in the city. And I think that with people owning their own, it does add to security. But also, I believe that a lot of the issues that we have to solve in our community have to come from the indigenous people in the community. And when you start to build up the block, when other people start to invest in the block, I think that it starts to make that block a lot safer. And a lot of times it is cosmetic. When you see something that looks better, that looks like it needs to be taken care of, the community, I trust that the community will take care of it. And I have trust in our citizens that they'll protect that block.
Thank you for that. Let me rephrase it. I meant from a developer standpoint, what kind of security amenities would come with the homes?
Well, right now, we don't have any security things. I mean,
Gotcha.
I'm sure we would obviously put cameras on the front and on the back that would come with a standard new home, but right now, we don't have those amenities in place.
Awesome, thank you for that. And then the gentleman to your left, I believe, spoke about the pavement restoration. Do you have any idea about how much pavement may need to be restored with this project?
So it's about, looks like about half the width of Market Street there. So it's, sorry, let me get the dimension on what that is there. But it's, it stretches the frontage of the units essentially. So, 16, 32, 60, a little over 60 feet wide, and then about to the center lane or center line of Market Street. So it probably looks like a bigger block because of the scale of this plan, but ultimately it's I don't think it's as sizable as what it might appear to be on the plan sheet here.
Absolutely, and I want to thank you guys for even addressing that because there's so many, as you're aware, Chris, so many neighborhoods in the area that barely have sidewalks or the remainder of a sidewalk as is. So I just thank you gentlemen for even looking at that, surveying it, and realizing it's a problem And I think just one of my last, I know you guys over the past 2 years have done a lot of community outreach. Um, what has been the, I guess, outroar from the community for this project? And do you intend to do any more community outreach moving forward?
Well, first of all, it's been favorable. I think any development in the city and new structures are looked at favorably in the city. That's number one. Number two, I think that it is time for all of us to connect. I think we have to not only connect with other organizations and people existing in the community, but we have to start connecting our communities. We are one city, and I think that the more people are part of a project or a part of keeping it safe, the stronger the community, the stronger the city.
Absolutely.
So definitely looking for outreach all the way around. The goal is to be a part of the upliftment of our city.
And I think a letter was circulated for neighborhood support previously, correct? When it was in the multifamily design approach. So, and there was, I think, at least 15 signatures or something granted or obtained during that process. So they have done fair due diligence on this, even in the earlier stages of the project.
I would just maybe encourage, and if I could help in any way, Chris, let me know. Probably just some more outreach to let them know that maybe the project has changed from from the previous talked about units to the newer units. But regardless, I know you have great support. I love to support the project. Real quick, do you know how much the units you may be asking for the units per unit? Maybe monthly, or that may be contingent on their mortgage, but just wanted to see if you have an idea of like what that may go for, depending on the person's AMI or credit score. I know it may be hard for you to answer, but just if you may have an idea for if someone was to buy it, what would they be purchasing the homes for?
Yeah, it is kind of early, but I anticipate that not selling for more than like 120,000, 125,000 per unit.
Okay, that's very reasonable
Yeah,
for brand new homes.
And to
Okay,
add,
awesome.
and to add to that, our goal is for it to be something that is affordable, something that people can move in and have equity in. Our goal is literally to build generational wealth, and it's to help others. So it's not about a profit for us. It's about making these homes affordable and making them an entity where people have ownership in their own homes.
Yep, great answer. And I look forward to the project being completed. In any way, I could be of assistance, please let me know. Thank you all for being here, and I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Jones.
Yes, thank you, Councilwoman Daniels. How you gentlemen doing? Some of my questions was asked, but I'll say this. I'm looking to change some of the language and how we talk about what we're doing in our communities. I hear MBE, affordability, all of those things, but you answered those things, and I really like the fact that you are looking to create more home ownership in the city of Harrisburg. I happen to be fortunate enough to be a part of that 24% home ownership, free and clear, in the city of Harrisburg, so it does make a huge difference. You and I speak often, and I'm definitely a believer in generational wealth. Owning a home is a building block to that. But when we look at, Councilman Rodriguez just asked, when we say affordability, let's say what affordable is. Let's try to narrow it down. And we said we got to a number, 120,000. But when we look at the scale on the AMI, 30, 60, 20% of that, and I don't know which one of those mechanisms you'll use, but my question would be, for the people that we're looking to create as home ownership, what mechanisms are we securing those individuals to make sure that they are ready to own a home? Because it comes with a lot of responsibility. Are the banks going to be involved, helping them out with their mortgage and, getting them ready and prepared to be homeowners? What programs, if any, that you're using to help make sure that when you get these individuals in these homes, they can potentially keep it?
Well, first, that's an excellent question. A lot of times we'll put people in these situations and not put them in positions to succeed. So I think you bring up a critical point. The goal is to have people not only move into the homes, but be successful in owning the home, so that they don't get foreclosed on. and that they're able to own and potentially build and to build wealth. I think that just what a lot of people don't see is that the money that they spend for rent, they can own their own home and own their own piece of the city and own their own land. And that's our goal, is to to go underneath what they would be paying for in rent and give them a structure that they can own. Not only that, it's also giving them the tools to be able to handle money, to manage money, and to have the credit to be able to buy or own a home. And unfortunately, it's not taught in our schools or in our communities enough. Even personally myself, these are things that we have to learn later in life. And the goal is so that people don't have to go through the same issues that we had to, don't have to learn about it later in life, or get these opportunities so that when they're put in a predicament or put in a situation, they're in a situation to succeed. I know I took a long way getting back to
Yeah, I'm about to react.
But to answer your question, yes, we will have banks in place and have organizations that we work with that help them with managing money, and that also will help them with building their credit score, and also looking to help with down payment assisting and some other.
So is that through PHFA or Fair Housing? I mean, what programs are you going to be using for the First Home Buyers Association?
Yeah, PHFA has a program. I think Tri-County Housing has a program, and they teach them how to repair their credit score, how to budget for home ownership, how to save to get the down payment, and then
Was it like 5%? Did it go up?
What's that?
5%. They usually try to get them to save, or
I think they still want 5%, down for the down money. But by the same token, all these banks, not all banks, but I know M&T Bank, I wouldn't be surprised if most of them do have special programs for this, and they actually contribute money towards the closing cost, and they may be willing to come down on that 5%. But they all have first-time home ownership programs.
Yeah, I think that's the important piece that I'm looking for. Again, I think your project stands out versus all the rest. Not that we don't need, again, this word affordable housing, but to be creating home ownership is something that I talk about a lot. And so I believe that's what separates you from these other projects. It's not something that you're looking to carry over 10 years and, and disappear over the project. This is someone you can pass off these properties to these individuals. But my other thing is, again, something that you mentioned that I'm very big on, I ran on, ensuring that people in the city of Harrisburg are included in the economic growth of the city. So making sure that, do you have intentions on using local contractors? I know we go with low MBEs, but some of them may not be DBE, MBE, and all of that. So that's one of my questions. Do you have any idea, or is that something that you're looking to do when it looks to building these projects and investing in the community, the people that live here, work here, and all of that? So is that something that you're looking to do from the ground level?
Yes. Also, another critical point, when we talk about economic empowerment, it is important for those indigenous people to have an opportunity to build the projects that they in their own community. So that's one of the key things that I think we're all looking at, and it's a very important piece to make sure that not only are people getting the opportunity to live in the homes, but also getting the opportunity, a piece of building those homes in the community.
Yeah, thank you, man. Again, much success on this project, and I hope that it leads you to look around a little bit more and look at the redevelopment authority and see what some of these lots and put some more homes up, because it's very tough, again, to build at market rate. We talked about those costs, and so that's what, again, I think I commend you on making this happen with the partnerships that you have, because, again, everyone wants apartment complexes and things of that nature. Not that that's a bad thing, but again, we're looking to increase the population in the city of Harrisburg, which will increase our tax base as well. So thank you guys for what you're doing. Looking forward to see this project through. And I have no more questions, Councilwoman Daniels.
Okay, thank you. So unless anyone has any additional questions,
Councilwoman
go ahead.
Daniels, thank you. I also would like to ask, just to topple off what my colleague just asked, would you be willing, now I know this is a new project, it's not even up and running yet, but since I've been here, this is such a unique situation. Everybody wants to build apartment buildings. This is the first, you're the first contractor, builder who I've seen come in here and talk about wanting to invest in the community and not wanting to make a lot of money, but just to invest, to build homes for home ownership. Would you be willing to, now this might be a question that you have to think about, but be a mentor in our community? Like, you're the front runner as far as I'm concerned. And maybe there are more people doing this, but I don't know of any. So would you be the front runner in terms of teaching and mentoring others who want to build in our community, who want to help others own their homes, who want to invest in this in this type of project? Because this is the other thing. There are people in our community who want to do what you're doing. They just don't know how. They don't have all of the connections, all the pieces. Just like MBE, we have a lot of talented people in our communities, electricians, plumbers. They don't have the insurances, the bonding, they don't have the certifications, they don't have any of that. And it seems to me it's impossible for whatever reason to get those. So it would just be nice to have someone in our communities that can teach this.
Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words. But yes, I would be happy to work with anybody about all of this. And to be perfectly honest and clear with you, you know, even with myself, I had a vision and no idea how I would get to see this project come to fruition, which makes it that much stronger for me. But I think that is something that all of us can do, and I think that's what it's about. All of us coming together and figuring out ways of helping each other and starting to invest back into our own community. So yes, I would be willing to work with all of council and work with anyone when it comes to upliftment of the city. So thank you for the kind words, and the answer is yes, of course.
Thank you, and would you be willing to leave your contact information?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, was that it?
That's it for us.
Yes, that's
Okay.
it.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to add Resolution 75-2025 to the next legislative session. We can move on now to Resolution 76-2025. Mr. Truesdale, do you mind reading that into the record?
Resolution 76, 2025, a resolution approving the preliminary/final land development plan for 1909 North Front Street, submitted by David Butcher of WCI Partner, LP, to convert the existing office building into a multifamily dwelling and associated site and access improvements.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, if you don't mind giving us a brief procedural history on this resolution.
Sure. So this project involves the conversion of the property at 1909 North Front Street, which is, I think, colloquially known, I'm saying that wrong, as the Hersha Building. That property, I think, has been vacant for some time, or will be. The commercial tenant there is moving out of the building, and so the applicant, WCI Partners, is looking to convert that property into 60-unit multifamily dwelling with some associated site and access improvements. If you're familiar with the property, there's basically a accessory surface parking lot surrounding the structure with enough parking to accommodate the requirements of the 60-unit multifamily dwelling building. The applicant did receive the necessary special exception approval at the October 20th zoning hearing board meeting to ensure the property is in conformance with the zoning regulations. So I believe the applicant has also received approval of some minor changes to the building envelope from HARB because the property is located in the Old Uptown Municipal Historic District. At this point, the land development plan approval is the final step in their proposal before submitting a building permit and moving forward on that aspect of the project. With all of that being said, the Planning Commission recommends that the City Council approve the request with the following conditions. The applicant should remove the middle curb cut driveway onto Minnick Street and replace it with curbing, sidewalk, and landscaping to remove an unnecessary pedestrian vehicular access point. The Bureau also recommends installing a direct pedestrian connection from the front entrance, from the building entrance to the front street sidewalk, which is differentiated through physical features such as brick, stamped concrete, or a raised walkway through the parking lot. And just to provide a little bit more information on that, the curb cut that's referenced there on Minnick Street used to be a place where trucks could back into a loading dock on that side of the property, which will no longer be necessary under the proposed configuration. And the applicant or the Planning Bureau is also recommending a direct connection from the building entrance to the front street sidewalk through what is now like a landscape hedging to just provide a way for pedestrians to access the property without having to walk through the vehicular curb cuts. The Planning Bureau recommends the applicant replace the tenant storage closet closest to the main elevator with a bike storage room for residents or their guests who do not drive. Due to the building's footprint in the AE 100-year floodplain, any investment into the building or new installations on the property will require conformance with the city's floodplain ordinance, and the applicant should continue coordination with the floodplain administrator regarding the application of these regulations to the subject property. And finally, any proposed exterior alterations to the building or site must be coordinated with the city's historic preservation specialist, and if necessary, must receive HARB approval of a COA application, which I believe has been received. The Planning Commission recommends City Council approve the request for the following reasons. The adaptive reuse of vacant and underutilized office spaces into apartment buildings is a long-term trend within the city, and the project represents a reasonable proposal to offset the loss of a commercial tenant and meet the increasing demand for housing through the provision of new units. The project site is located along the mixed-use Front Street corridor, and other conversions of former office buildings have demonstrated the proposed use does not adversely impact the character of the neighborhood, and the project will address the primary concern of such conversions through the provision of sufficient off-street parking to meet the demand from new tenants and their guests. And finally, the proposed reuse will add new residents to the neighborhood to activate the street on nights and weekends and grow a customer base to support local businesses, and will provide additional units to the Midtown housing inventory.
Okay, thank you. So if the applicant wouldn't mind just giving a brief summary of the project, timeframes, costs related to the units, and please be as both thorough and succinct as possible. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Councilwoman. My name is Dave Butcher. I'm with WCI Partners. Jeff summarized the project fairly well. Hersha Hospitality is leaving their current location, creating another vacant building in the city. They have about 60,000 square feet, adding to the about million that we have vacant right now in the city. They approached us to ask if we were interested in purchasing the building. We looked at it and said yes, we would be interested in, they were as a residential conversion. And so we made the application to the city for this.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'll go ahead and just open up to my fellow council members. At this point, I'll start to my far left this time, Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Councilwoman Daniels. How you doing today, sir?
Pretty good.
All right. Similar questions to the last developer, if you will. Do you have any intentions on looking locally to hire anyone, or will this create any jobs? Let me start there. Will this create any jobs?
Yeah, about 100.
How many?
100. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and are you looking local or are you looking outside of the city too?
Yeah.
As much as you can.
Yeah. We looked at our current roster of subcontractors, and we have about 20% that are minority or woman-owned businesses that are local or just outside the city. So it's about 20 to 25% of our current roster. Now, I don't think they're all officially registered MBE or WV. That's a separate registration from what I understand, but they are women-owned and minority-owned local businesses in the city of Harrisburg, about 20-25%.
Okay, yeah, so that was something that I was just talking about. Not so much of that, you heard some of my colleagues speak of that too, because some people may not have that, and maybe they may have an opportunity, if they're not primed, to be that sub, something can come in on some of those projects. So when I say local, I'm not just talking about outside of the city. I think, again, one of my biggest things is in public safety. I always believe in, if someone's working with a living wage, they're less likely to be out committing crimes. And so there's a struggle for jobs out here and skill set too. So I'm not holding to MBE or anything. Again, this is just something, when I say local, again, I witnessed the projects come into the city of Harrisburg. It was the federal courthouse, $396 million project, and no one around here got a job. So I'm just asking that. It's not a requirement for my vote. It's just something that I'm interested in seeing if some of the developers, and this is what I'm going to ask every developer when they come in, so don't feel singled out.
I understand and appreciate it. Yeah, and we do hire within the city when we can, and we have I have the list here, and it's
Pretty good.
three, four in the city. Yeah.
Okay.
So and we're always open to it.
Got you. So, yeah, man, great luck with this project. If anything I can do to assist in finding some of those new people, let me know. But I have no further questions, and thank you for what you're doing here in the city.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for joining us this evening. I was just curious about how many jobs that may be created, but you've alluded to it, nearly 100 with construction. So that's all I really had, but thank you once again for joining us, and I look forward to the project.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rawls.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for bringing another project to the city that will create housing. One of my questions were already answered about how many jobs, and I know President Hill will ask about affordability, so I will hear from her once she asks those questions. So I just had one additional question. I'm always concerned about who will take care of the property once it is built. So I was wondering, one, I have a two-part question. Who will manage the property when it's built, and do you have other properties, and who manages them as well?
Yeah, so we've been in business in the city for this year is our 20th year. We have about 300 units total. We have a management division within our business, so we self-manage all of them. We don't hire third party. We don't do third-party management for others. We just manage our own projects. So we'll manage it. The location of this one is actually very makes it easy to manage because it's right next to our office building. So our management team is right there. So we're almost like an on-site manager for this one.
Okay, right, you're not out of the country.
No, not out of the country, not even out of the city.
Thank you. Okay, well, that is a plus, because we have some landlords or management companies that are not in proximity. I should say landlords, because the management companies do have to be in a certain diameter of where we are, but still, I'm glad you are close, and it's right next to your office, so thank you. So that's it for me. Thank you very much. I'll pass it along.
Okay, thank you, President Hill.
Thank you. Good evening. Yes, my questions will be around affordability. Are you interested in participating in the voluntary Harrisburg Affordable Housing Program, which would roughly 20% of the units, so this at 60, that's about 12 units, would be deemed affordable for our residents.
The way I understand the program is that it's for density bonuses. Is that right? Is that what it's for? The volunteer?
Yeah, that's
A
one of
portion.
the
There
bonuses
are
that can be
several
granted, yeah.
Okay.
variables.
I got it. I see. I was thinking that in order to participate in it, you needed density. We don't need the density relief. One of the challenges on a conversion like this is the cost to do it versus what it's going to be worth when you're done and servicing the debt to the bank. So we're going to have loans on this that we'll have to service, and just in doing the math, the rents have to be at a certain level to pay the loan. So I think I've said this before when I've come here, that we look at the affordable housing issue as holistically as we can with I mentioned the 300 units, within the 300 units that we have. So I would say about 20% of the 300 are affordable, like within or below the AMI of the region. But it's difficult to do that on every single project or on a project basis because of the costs and the loan servicing. So on this particular one, some of the rents are going to be about the average for the city, which we think is pretty good. But some are going to be higher. So we'll do our best. I understand the issue personally. I was told not to share that, but the one thing that we've done that I think is a creative solution sometimes when you have to service these loans is we've worked with third-party groups like Church World Services. I don't know if you've heard of so they have their immigration and refugee services. So we worked with Katrina there, and they had a shortage of housing for the refugees. We have apartments that we need to get market rate rents for in order to pay our costs and our loans. So we came up with this idea together. We met at the International Service Center in the basement of the Presbyterian Church there at Market Square Plaza. And Dr. Fong helped convene this thing. And the idea and the solution we came up with is that if we have a third party like Church World Services that can guarantee the rent, so they sign the lease, they guarantee the rent that the developer needs for market rate to pay their loan and their costs, they can turn around and then give the apartment at an affordable rate. So we've done that a couple of times, and then when the new administration come in, they cut the funding for refugee and those services. So Church World Services is we still have 2 units left that we do in our portfolio with that, but that was one creative solution. So it's an important topic to me. We do the best that we can, but I also have the demands of the loans, other costs, and just the math of the project that I have to figure out.
I understand. Have you determined estimates for the rent for these units?
Yeah, I think the average rent in the city right now is $1,300. We're going to be around there for some of them, and then others will be higher than that, depending on where they're at, and the size and the location and the amenities.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you. Vice President.
Thank you very much. I don't have any questions for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President, Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, Councilwoman Daniels. Good evening. Thank you for coming in this evening. You mentioned 1,300. Would that be for a 1-bedroom apartment?
Yeah.
Okay. So 60 units. Well, I understand, the need to pay back a loan to the bank and everything that goes with that. I don't have a 60-unit building, but I do have one apartment building, so I understand. But then on the other hand, affordability is important to us. I mean, we have a housing shortage and a homeless problem here. And I just personally think that everyone should have an opportunity. with the developments that's coming into our city residents should have an opportunity. It's a small portion, have an opportunity to rent some of these. I mean, they are taxpayers also.
Sure.
So that's my only statement, but thank you again.
Sure.
Thank you.
I was told not to share this because it sounds manipulative, and I don't mean it that way. So I'm just gonna say, I agree with you. I grew up very low income, single mom. Had we not lived with my grandma, we would have been unhoused. I got scholarships and loans to go to college. I understand the issue. Low income, affordable housing, taxpayers, I get it on a personal level. I have to meet, though, the requirements of the bank and the equity that comes in to make the project work. And so I'm trying to navigate these things. And so I'm sorry, I did share it. It was my lived experience. And so I want to know, I want you to know that it matters to me, but I have an economic reality that I have to navigate and meet. So I appreciate the comment and thank you. I hope that doesn't sound, I don't know,
No, it sounds human. Thanks. You're being vulnerable. No, thank you. Appreciate it. Actually, it made me understand a little bit more with the loan process and how you have to look at rents and set them to pay back a loan. That was a new aha moment for me. I never heard that before. So I don't know about anybody else. I can't speak for everybody, but I just learned something today. So thank you. You learn something new every day, and that was mine. So thank you for that wow moment.
And I'm sure that the property is going to cash flow. I know that, so, keeping that in mind. I know a little bit about multi-units, and that's the whole purpose of having a multi-unit, is that so it can cash flow. It's a commercial property. It's going to increase in value every year. Every year it's going to increase in value. Sure. And you're going to be able to raise rents every year, too. I don't know, will there be any other amenities on site?
Yeah, there'll be a fitness center, 2 tenant community rooms that they can use if they want to have birthday parties, watch the Super Bowl, something like that. And then tenant business center, there's work from home, obviously, is a big thing. So if you don't want to work in your apartment, you can go to the business center and work. You'll have desks and offices. And then we're trying to do a pet center, too. So we'll see how that works, like pet washing station, things like that.
Okay, sounds nice. Thank you.
Sure.
Does anyone have any other last minute questions? Okay, I'd like to go ahead and add Resolution 76-2025 to the next legislative calendar. And this concludes the business of the Community and Economic Development Committee.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Councilwoman Daniels. Thank you. Our next committee business lies with the Public Safety Committee. I will defer to our Public Safety Committee Chair, Councilman Jones, to lead discussion.
Thank you, President Hill. Mr. Truesdale, can you please read Resolution 85 of 25 into the record?
Resolution 85, 2025, a resolution confirming the appointment of Celis M. Dillard to serve on the Citizens Law Enforcement Advisory Committee.
Thank you. Ms. Dillard, how are you?
Hi, good evening. I'm doing okay.
Good, good. So if you can just share briefly, obviously your name and, a little bit of your background, and then I'll ask a few questions and pass it on to my colleagues.
Okay. So that I didn't say too much, I kind of put something together. So, as you know, my name is Celis Dillard. I was born in Puerto Rico, and I moved here when I was 14. I attended Redland High School in the West Shore School District, and after I graduated, I held a couple of positions that helped me develop a wide range of skills that I still use today. I'm bilingual, which means that I can read, write, and speak in Spanish fluently. I'm a mother of 2 girls, Anjoli's 25, Riley 20. I've been married to my husband for 21 years, Ryan. When I moved to Harrisburg, I quickly realized how different life can be from one side of the river to the other. When I began working for the Harrisburg School District, it ignited a new passion in my heart. I had always felt that I was meant to do something. I just wasn't sure what that was until I realized how deeply I wanted to help our youth. Our young people often struggle without the proper tools and support, which can lead them to fear police, turn to violence, or distrust the system around them. At the same time, our police officers are present and willing to help, but many of them are also quick to judge and may not fully understand how fragile and vulnerable our youth truly are. I believe that there's an opportunity and an urgent need to build a stronger, healthier, and more trusting relationship between our young people and our police. By being part of the CLEAC, I hope to help bridge that gap and create positive change to our community.
Thank you. So I don't really have to ask questions because that was some of the stuff. What interests you, and again, just for full transparency, she has been attending some of the CLEAC meetings that have already started. So I'm very aware. Great resume, and I understand your passion. So I don't have any questions for you. I'll open the floor to my immediate right, to Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, Chair Jones. And I have no questions, just a few statements. It's amazing to see the work that you're continuing to do with the CLEAC board, Chair. So thank you. And getting someone that is bilingual in the Spanish-speaking community is amazing. And I think it will go a long ways on this board. It's great to see the board being built of such diversity. And I just can't wait to see the amazing things they'll be doing. And thank you, Queen, for your interest in serving on the CLEAC board. It's just learning Spanish is just something I wish I was raised with my parents. My family's from Ponce, Puerto Rico, so go Boricua. It's just, losing and being detached from my family at a young age, I wasn't able to fully grasp on. And my grandmother, she died at an old age, and she was stubborn. She never wanted to learn English, so she went back to Puerto Rico every winter. So go figure. But it's just great that you have this willingness to serve on this board, and I just can't wait to see the amazing things you'll do. Thank you for your passion and commitment. Nothing further.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Ross.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for being willing to volunteer on this committee. That's much needed. And also thank you for having a stake within our youth. I just appreciate you just being willing to come here tonight. I don't have any questions. You answered them all in which you said you didn't want to talk too much, but you did a great job, and it was short, sweet, and to the point. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you volunteer on the board.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
President Hill.
Thank you. Good evening. I don't have any questions for you. I, too, have seen your participation with the CLEAC board meetings and your presence. So thank you.
Thank you.
Vice President Green.
Thank you very much, Councilman Jones. I don't have any questions for you. Thank you for your willingness to serve, for your excitement for our youth, and bringing that to the board along with your bilingual capabilities. So just thank you for being here and being willing to give this a shot. So thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you for your willingness to serve.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Daniels.
And just whether you have any potential conflicts of interest.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Do you have any potential conflicts of interest?
No, I don't believe so. No.
Okay, that's it for me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for coming out. And I move to act Resolution 85 of 2025 to our next legislative session, and I would ask my colleagues to support.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Our final committee business this evening lies with the Public Works Committee. I will defer to our Public Works Committee Chair, Councilman Rodriguez, to lead discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. Before we begin committee business, I'd like to thank Madam President for her leadership in providing the Public Works report in my absence last week. My home has been facing some circumstances, and I just ask everyone to keep my family in their prayers. So moving forward with the Public Works business, we'll be discussing two resolutions, Resolution 80 of 2025 and Resolution 81 of 2025. Mr. Truesdale, would you mind please reading both resolutions into the record?
Resolution 80, 2025, a resolution authorizing the submission of a Pennsylvania Local Share Assessment Grant application for up to $1 million from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to fund renovations of the city's public works facility at 1820 Paxton Street, Harrisburg, PA, 17104. Resolution 81, 2025, a resolution authorizing the city of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with the Bureau of Pembroke, authorizing the city to continue to provide municipal solid waste and recycling collection and disposal services within the Bureau.
Thank you for that. And I believe we have Director West and Ms. Rebecca Vollmer in attendance this evening.
Also have Sam Sikorsky, Business Administrator Interim.
All right, great to see you, Mr. Silkowski. If you gentlemen would like to give an overhaul for council on Resolution 80 of 2025, we'll discuss that resolution first.
Which one is that?
Yeah, going through the budget process this year, we had discussions with the Public Works Department. Can you guys all hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
A lot better than last time, I think. So, anyway, so in those budget discussions, we had found out the capital needs of some repairs to the Public Works building, including the floor, the roof, and windows. And I was familiar with a local share account statewide, which is open open in September, October, and it closes at the end of this month, where we can apply for up to $1 million maximum. And this is also a very feasible project because you could use each one of those needs as a different phase. So if we don't get quite the full amount, we can phase it 1, 2, and 3. So so that's basically what this grant is for. It's for repairs and upgrades to the Public Works building. And about the particular shape, I'll let Director West talk about that.
All right, and Director West, I know you and I meet pretty frequently. This would be the same adjustments for the VMC specialty flooring, the bullet holes in some of the windows, the roofing, et cetera?
Yes. Good evening, President Hill and council members. Yes, we recently purchased the building. It now belongs to the city of Harrisburg. And we did not do the repairs since we were in the building because we did not own the building. We currently own the building now, so we have an obligation to bring it up to its standards as far as a public works facility. And when we entered the building, the facility of the vehicle maintenance floor was not up to par, and it continued to go in a downhill aspect. So now we as you see the pictures, we are in dire need of repairing and redoing the entire floor through and through. And again, we either had the choice of placing it in the budget for next year or finding a resource of finance to pay for redoing the floor. And this is one of the solutions that Sam, the business administrator, came up with, an alternative versus placing it in the budget at a cost to the city. And so it was the floor of the vehicle maintenance center, the windows that, you keep them clean, but when we entered the building, they had bullet holes in them. But the windows are strong, so it's not like it went through. It's just showing. And the cracks in the window, and it's not good for a public work facility, to look like that when you have the residents entering at all times of the day. And we deal with the entire community, the public works facility. Also with the roof, we're going to try to repair the roof in different areas, but the importance and log standing of the building, because we're going to be there, is to redo the roof. So in that order, whatever monies that we can come up with the grant, and that's what we'll do in that order. The primary purpose is the floor. Secondary purpose will be the windows, and third will be the roof.
Awesome, thank you for that. And I did forward the floor proposal from Howe that you sent me. So hopefully council got that ahead of the meeting. If not, my sincere apologies. Along with that proposal was some images of the damaged VMC flooring. And I believe, I may have not gotten the roof images over, but I believe you brought them this evening, Mr. West? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Also, I will send out the pictures of the windows as well.
Okay, thank you for that. I have nothing to add, but I would like to open it up to my colleagues for any questions, starting with my immediate left, Mr. Councilman Jones. Any questions?
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez. No questions.
All right, awesome. Moving forward, Councilwoman Rawls.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez, and good evening to all of you. I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
Awesome. Madam President.
Good evening. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Madam Vice President.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for being here. I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
You, Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, young lady, for being here. I just can't think of your name. Thank you. And I just want to say thank you, Mr. Sokolsky, for your resourcefulness in finding this grant, and just thank you for considering, Mr. West, everyone, the taxpayers, the residents of our city. So that's really a highlight in what I think everyone should be doing, trying to save money.
Well, one of my passions is spending state money.
Yeah,
Not city
that's
money,
good.
but state money, so whenever we can do
Well,
that.
thank you.
Let me just add one small point. I just want to, this is a state grant. There's also no local match to this, so it's a 100% grant, so, all right?
Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you for that.
All right. I'm sorry, Councilwoman Davis, were you done?
Oh, yes, I was finished, Councilman Rodriguez.
My apologies. Okay, moving forward, Councilwoman Daniels.
No questions, thank you.
All right, and I see we do have Ms. Rebecca Vollmer joining us. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Is this on? Oh, it is. Okay. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so we had a great chance to have meet with the Public Works folks and learn a lot more about the state of their. Sorry, I talk. My voice is low. One of the things they talked about so much is that the floors, there's pieces that are just coming apart. People who are just walking across doing nothing, let alone people who are walking across carrying things that are weigh 100 pounds. There's a really serious slip and trip, and also there's all these different pieces of equipment that are stored over at Public Works, and so we have to fix the floors so that the folks who work at Public Works are safe, and then also to fix the roof so that it protects the floor and also protects all the stuff that is being stored there. So we have a lot of components for tons of different vehicles that are part of the fleet. We need to make sure that they are protected. So there's just floor, roof. It's kind of like a whole thing that comes together, and they're a great group of folks over there, and they're very tightly knit. So I don't know. I learned a lot last week just talking to them. So yeah, I mean, if we can get this state money done, it would be great. It would be great. We may not get all of it. I mean, we don't always get all of it, but if we can get some, we can start, and that would be great. Thank you,
Awesome.
Councilman
Well,
Rodriguez.
thank you all. Does anyone from the administration or directors have anything else to add as far as Resolution 80, 2025 is concerned?
Yes.
Any further?
As everyone
Correct.
might not be aware of, the Vehicle Maintenance Center covers the 418 vehicles and pieces of equipment that the city owns through the entire city fleet so it's responsible for anything that moves as far as vehicles in the city. So it's very important. We just purchased the new lifts thanks to the last agreement that was agreed by the administration and council. So we are coming along, and the floor will be very beneficial. We also took some monies that we had and we repainted the vehicle maintenance center. So it looks a lot better, and the floor will be the completion of the vehicle maintenance center. So it'll look like a brand new facility.
That's awesome. That's great news. All right. Any questions from my colleagues on council regarding Resolution 80 of 25? Right, hearing none, we will move right into Resolution 81 of 2025. Director West, would you like to give an overhaul of Resolution 81 of 2025?
Resolution 81 is a renewal of the contract with Pembroke. As I was here a couple of weeks ago with the same renewal of the contract with Paxtang, this is the same arena. It's just a different borough. So the renewal would be the same as the 3 years with the 2 years extension. And I don't know if you received the notes for the contract. And the last time that we discussed about the Paxtang, we were asked about revenues. If you need those revenues, we will send them to you again as well.
We have them.
Huh? I'm not. I sent those earlier today to the president of council, so she has those. So.
Yes, we did see those revenues and expenses for the 24 and 25 year. Absolutely. Mr. Selkowski, is there anything you'd like to add, or Ms. Rebecca?
No, I was just going to add that we did send the revenues for this particular contract. I sent the previous one, I think, a week or two ago, and so you should have had those ones also. So if there's any other information you need from us, just let me know. You want to say anything?
Okay. Awesome. All right, thank you. And with that being said, I'll open it up to my colleagues on council, starting with Councilwoman Daniels.
No questions, thank you.
All right, Councilwoman Davis.
No questions for me, thank you.
Vice President Green.
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Madam President.
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to confirm receipt of the budget numbers for 2024 and 2025, and they're through November 10th, 2025. So I just wanted to note that. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Councilwoman Rawls.
Thank you. I don't have any questions on this resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Jones.
No questions.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all. And I move to add resolutions 80 and 81 of 2025 to be added on the next legislative agenda. And that concludes the business of the Public Works Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez. Next, we have public comment. So just a few housekeeping notes before we begin. Please state your name and your address for the meeting record. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your address, please share the vicinity in which you live within the city. You will have 4 minutes to share your comments. Mr. Truesdale has added a timer to the screen for your reference. And I'll begin to my right. Is there anyone that would like to offer public comment? Okay, seeing and hearing no one. Anyone in the middle section? Seeing and hearing no one. Anyone to my left? Seeing and hearing no one. The time is 7:24 p.m. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. We stand adjourned.